Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Last time we managed to get the MK4 Focus ST back out on track to gather some more data. The car was running all the stage 2 hardware but without the tuning. We did have a few issues with clutch slip, but we managed to power on through the day and get some really good times in. But now it was time to finish off one job that we had looming over us, and that was the chassis mounted front splitter. So that meant making some brackets, cutting the holes where we needed them cut, and also making the thing look good. We wanted a simplistic quick release design which meant we could pull this off at a moment's notice if need be. After a bit of trial and error and manipulating the brackets, we could finally bolt the splitter up and see how it sits, but there was much more left to do. We'd still to create an air dam. This splitter would be absolutely useless without this. Most people would just attach a piece of rubber, which works, but that wasn't how we wanted to do it. We wanted to do something fully custom that looked really good as well. So my dad set about making a mould for a full custom front air dam using an old SD splitter that we had lying around. And while we awaited our order of fiberglass, we got the car back on the dyno to test out the stage 2 map. So with one hit on the car, we managed to make 408 brake horsepower with 580 newton meters. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I've not even bothered to start tweaking it. I'm just going to leave it how it is because that's generally how it should work anyway. It should just work straight away first time. Everything looks solid on there, so I'm really happy with this, how it's all coming together now. Next up, we're going to have to get a hybrid turbo on it, but at the track day I was experiencing some clutch slip, and we know that is a weak point in these cars, is the clutch. So it's the exact same situation as what we had on our MK4 Fiesta ST. As soon as we get the big sticky tyres on and we're giving it a bit of stick around the track, we're starting to see a bit of clutch slip, so this can happen quite early on. So whether we design our own clutch or whether we end up just buying one that's off the shelf and trying it and seeing what's out there, my experience of when we do that is sometimes it's not what we want. I know how I like things to feel, so I'm feeling like we might just get our own design. But then it means we've got a bit of downtime, a lot of money in development, you know, so there's pros and cons. We do like making our own stuff, so chances are that's the route we're going to go down. Meanwhile in the workshop we had a package arrive. It was the wide arches all the way from Ukraine. Naturally we were dying to see how these would look against the car, so it wasn't long before we got that box open and trial fitted them up against the wing. So what's your thought in the initial out the box fitment?
Very good.
That's what I like to hear. All the way from Ukraine. Wee bit extra width on there. I'll need to get wider wheels now, because it has actually brought it out
I brought it
a good bit more. Does it look good on? Once we had a little bit more time, it was time to crack back on with the mould. So the fiberglass is all layered up for the mould now. Hopefully we're able to actually peel it off. I don't actually know if my dad's got a bit more to put on it, which he might still have to do. But once this is ready to peel off, then that will hopefully give us a nice mould for this particular piece. So what's happening here is we've got the full splitter going under the car, and this is going to be like a cover to allow the air to ram down onto it. So we'll have the rigidity of the actual wooden splitter, which believe it or not is what touring cars use. They use like solid wood. It must be just to do with either cost effectiveness or the fact it can take a hit and still maintain its shape generally and not break into a million pieces. But hopefully we're going to have a nice mould, and then we can take another one of these and that should all work. That should all just essentially clip over the front bumper. Not like this, it of course needs to be finished off nice. And then we just need to decide what colour we're going to put it, or if we're even going to bother with that and just wrap right over it. It wasn't long until the mould was ready and we got our first piece out of it. It came out not too bad, but with a couple of cracks needing refinishing, my dad got to work. Then he got the big splitter painted as well as this piece. He had some old paint lying downstairs from the Max Power era and decided to chuck it on just to see what it looked like. While watching paint dry, I took it upon myself to order some wheels. But there was a problem. and that problem was fitment.
So now that we've test fitted the wheels, we've seen how far out they are in comparison to the arches, which leaves us with a bit of a problem. We're going to have to find a way to bring the wheel arches out because they're just not far out enough. We're also going to need to cut the arches, so that's one thing we're going to have to take into consideration when we're doing this job. But my dad's came up with a couple of ideas already that would work, some quite time consuming, some quite expensive, and we just need to find what works best for us. Hopefully, whatever we find is going to be the quickest solution because we want to make sure this car is ready for Ford Fair.
For the time being, we just cracked on with the splitter again. My dad decided he didn't like the Andromeda look, so just painted it all orange. But then decided that he didn't like that either and painted the bottom part satin black, which was the best look for me. So to secure this to the car, we decided to go for screws and washers found in some engine bay dress-up kits. A quick call to my friend Adam at CUK and he sent some out in next day delivery for me so I could get this fitted just in time for my next track day. Oh yes, this is in fact the height test. That's close. All that was left to do was take it a trial run on the road to make sure nothing would fall off and that everything was going to plan. But we came across a slight issue. The bottom of the bumper had enough flex that at high speeds the air pressure would move it back and dislodge it from the splitter. So we'd come up with some quick brackets as well as do a quick oil change to get onto the NT Plus oil that we wanted to try.
Well, without any real surprise, I've left all our cars to last minute to prep. We've had a wee bit of a problem with one of the back brakes, but it's been fixed now. One of the Mark 8s, it's also got a bit of a buckled wheel, but it shouldn't affect us too bad, so we're just going to ignore that it's there. The Mark 4 we had to make those brackets for, but it seems to have fixed it now, so hopefully it's all going to go well. We'll just need to go and try things out now and see how we go on.
It became apparent quite quickly that the clutch wasn't going to hold up the entire day. It started slipping and forth quite early on, and as the day progressed, it just got worse and worse. It was slipping a lot in fourth, a lot in fifth. I was constantly having to come off the power and go back on to try and get it to catch. But I just made the best of it, made the best of the day, enjoyed it for what it was, and we'll just have to fix it for next time. So with another relatively successful day of testing under our belts, one thing turned up for us that we were really looking forward to, and that was the used British touring car slicks that I managed to acquire. These would be going on our brand new 2 forged wheels and give us a better idea for how far out these wheels are actually going to sit. I got them dropped off at a local tyre fitters who had them ready for us later on that day.
So the tyres look really good on. We did think that was going to be the case anyway. Big slick tyres, nice wheels. It's really starting to look like a race car now, and that's the exact kind of look we were going for. We didn't want it just look like your average track car. We want this to really come together and look like an absolute race car in the end. The only thing was, it came with all the Goodyear writing on it, and a lot of it was quite tatted looking, so I've had to sit and try and scrub all that off, and that took a fair bit of time and a fair few chemicals, so I just hope that they don't soak into the sidewall and cause me trouble. But they are looking much better now. I've bought some tyre stencils. We'll get them stenciled back up again so it all looks fresh. Something I should probably mention is that 2Ford's wheels can be purchased through ourselves and through our website. We'll have fitments already available to fit each individual car that we currently deal with different models of different wheels. Don't worry, they won't poke out like mine. That's simply because I was going for an extremely wide fitment. We will have sizes that will fit your car, no problem at all, and give you the best look and best performance possible.
Well, that's all for today's video. Don't forget to join us next time by subscribing and check out our MK4 back on track again once we replace the clutch with the new Uni Clutch Sport and fire on our hybrid turbo and make some serious power.